Welcome to the Art of Healing podcast. I am, of course, Emilio Silva, aka Mr. Don't Be Mad. I am your host of the Art of Healing podcast. I put this podcast together to be a little uplifting, get the people's, heart to heart conversations with people, and find out, different things that help people heal in life. You know what I'm saying? So today I got my first guest, my brother. Had to start with someone I'm comfortable with. Cool. That's been always working. Mr. Director Escobar. Welcome to the Art of Healing podcast. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me, brother. I really appreciate that.
Thank you for helping us out.
I think that's the thing we do now.
BTS.
Every time we got a venture, it's like, we hang out, we look at everything, we put our heads together, and I think that's part of what we do.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly true. So what do you do? Like, tell everybody, what do you do? You're director, so obviously that's one of the things.
Right. So, obviously, I've been doing music videos for like 15 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a filmmaker, overall storyteller. That's really what I like to, if you want to talk in general. But yeah, music videos, film, everything commercial, no weddings, no birthdays, no quinceañeras, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I'm a filmmaker, I'm a storyteller, and I like to think of myself as a friend and, someone you can talk to, which is why this is
you always
so
come
important.
through. Anytime I need you, every time I call you for advice, anything, you always come through. That's why I thought you would be a great person to bring to this, to open it, to come through and set it off for us.
Set the tone.
Set the tone. That's the words I'm looking for. Anyway, so I want to talk about, what you've been up to lately. Like, I know you've been promoting this movie really heavily. Lift.
So left. We did the main premiere. Nah, you good. We did the premiere, which you were part of. We're still working out how we're gonna have like the direct to consumer, because I don't want to work with this. I do have it on a distribution plan, but for my investors and my actors, I want to make sure we get direct to consumer dollars, because then we dictate what that we can really split those splits.
Yeah. Make it make more sense.
Yeah. Recently, I did premiered Followed, which is one of my actors. I challenge all my actors to write their own. And with some of the proceeds that we made from Left, we used them for production. And now we got another one called Follow, which is based on a true story. Maria Ruiz wrote it.
Okay.
From Bridgeport.
That's one of your actors.
Gina, she played Gina in the film.
Okay.
We had the Ager, you know what I'm saying? But she wrote it, and we recently did a show of all my joints, including the last one. So that's what I've been up to.
So I bring up your movie because it has a lot to do with like the podcast and what is going on. So what was your movie? Left.
Left. Yeah, left. Like left behind.
Make sure I'm like illiterate, so I got.
It's been a long day, so it's been a long day. Trust me.
So what's your film? What's the film about? Because it has a really dope meaning to it and a really dope storyline to it.
I mean, it's like 3 different levels. There's the at face value is a thriller.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to scare you, make you think you're going a little crazy. The second one is really dementia. I don't want to give away too much, but it's dementia, Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one is hidden there, which we had this conversation, is father-son relationship, right? I threw a little bit of stuff in there about it. Hope it translates to some. Mm-hmm. Maybe I got to work a little more on how to do multi-level. That's very ambitious, but overall it's a thriller about dementia with some other themes that are familiar to us.
So you experienced dementia in your life, that's why you wrote the film?
Right. Yeah, I mean,
that you had it, did you have someone around?
Like, where am I? No. My grandmother, passed last year. Actually, a couple, the 19th or the 16th is going to be the first year anniversary. Matriarch, she lived through the 50s in Colombia. She told me a lot about, what she went through. She was stronger than I'll ever be as a man. I can say that. But I had to deal with but me and my mother mostly had to deal with her being, losing her identity, who she was. And we don't talk about it enough, but it was hard for everybody in the family. But just someone losing who they are, right? And who they were, especially someone like her who raised 9 kids, who saw things that I'll never have to see, who survived a lot of stuff that I'll never have to experience, and hopefully my daughters don't have to. So, and then she lost herself, and from this matriarch, she passed at home with family, but it was a shell of who she used to be. And
did help you make?
She's in the movie.
That's cool.
She's in the movie.
Did making the movie help you, or like?
So that movie was
that's like a
huge part of my grieving, which is a conversation at home. Is like I cried in front of my friends. I cried in front of people. But at home I had to keep it together for my mother, for my aunts, and everybody that was around, right? And part of that peace that I had was because I didn't know and I didn't want to, but I knew. We shot the movie in March last year.
Yep.
And she passed in July. And a lot of things happened. I mean, I raised money. The first time I raised money for a movie, first time I got out there. But I wrote a specific part for her, right? It was a small part. She was a patient to introduce a character, but she got a little worried. And the movie part is awesome. The BTS I have from that moment is amazing. Like she was flirting with, shout out to Abe Perez, which was playing the doctor. She was she had a lucid moment while we were doing. So she wasn't like this. She was talking because I'm telling you, she had dementia for 5 years, but she only really lost her mind in the last 6 months.
How was that dealing with that? That was
the last 6 months were hard, but we knew it was gonna happen. It affects how you eat, and when you stop eating, and they'll tell you if you know anybody that went through any disease, anything that has to do with dying or hospice or last moments and stuff. Like your doctor's gonna tell you when somebody's eating, completely forgets and doesn't want to eat. That's be prepared.
Yeah, that's key. I mean? That's key.
So
you need.
But we prepared. It happened. I wrote. I put her in the movie. So all in all, that part, and this is the first time somebody asked me that, and it was part of my healing and why I didn't grieve in front of my family like I would have, because I always lived with her until I became an adult, and then she always lived with me. But I never left them, including my mother. So it's always been this family unit of just us.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And this is after years of her raising 9 kids, having brothers, people that were actually wealthy in her family and stuff. But and we're immigrants, so we got a long story of that.
And y'all very,
yeah. That was my baby. My grandmother was my baby, right? But I have a lot.
She met your daughter.
Oh, she met my first daughter, and that was amazing. I had so many videos, so many things, right? That was so I had a lot of peace because I was able to do something.
Technology is where it's at now.
Yeah,
right?
It is. But just the ability to use my art, right, and what I do to include her, and the things that happen around it, the BTS, and production wise, if you love filmmaking, it's not just picking up a camera. It's like the things that happen behind the scenes are fun, the conversations. Exactly. So all those experiences helped me start healing, which I know is one of the things.
Exactly. Yeah, I was gonna ask you, did that help you? And that's clear that day, and that's dope. That I'm the first person to ask you that question.
Yeah.
That was dope. I was actually thinking about it since you made that movie, I was like, I want to ask you that, but it was a great opportunity to ask you that.
Yeah. It's a great time for it. It did. It's a big healing is a process, as you know. But the actual that was a huge foundation of healing for me. Everybody got different things that they got going on and how they got to deal with it, but it was a great foundation of okay, this is how I'm gonna continue to heal, and maybe heal in other ways too for other things.
And and now now it motivates you even more to keep promoting and making better movies.
Yes.
And your next movie was about something else, wasn't it? The one that that Maria wrote?
Yeah, so I encourage you to write about mental health. So my thing is thrillers or scary, but not based on the demonic or paranormal, not because I have nothing against it, it's just overdone, and I don't really buy into it. I just have my own thing, right? I think mental illness is being crazy or not being right in your head is the craziest thing you can go through. So I wanted to feel like it's a demon or whatever, but most people that have experiences like that, it is a mental illness. And then, you can leave it vaguely and see why it might be schizophrenia, it might be bipolar, whatever, it might be, whatever, but it's still like in your head.
Yeah,
You live it,
problem,
right?
yep.
So that's the goal. So she wrote something that really happened to her, very personal, a moment from her life or one of hers, and I'm taking the liberty to share this because she spoke and she didn't break down during the speech, and I see the strong woman, I see her grow. It really was about her son having one of her sons having an illness that went undiagnosed because he didn't seek help, and he ended up harassing her and scaring her one day.
That's real.
Yeah, we enhanced it a little bit.
Everybody
Yeah.
have dealt with that in their life, probably. Some probably not that close, but
No, but it's more often than people want to admit.
yeah, mental health is a big
Especially
thing.
when family does it, anything is like nobody wants to talk about it, right?
Nobody.
So, but she shared a very private moment of her life, one of her things that triggered her and stuff. So that's what followed. The name of the movie is Followed. It is shorter. It's only 8 minutes, but it's a really straight to the head short. And she wrote it and she never wrote a screenplay before. She just listened to me. I sent to the program. I told her,
You're great at
what
like,
to
giving
keep.
instructions and helping.
Yeah, but no, if you ever went on Facebook, nobody listens. DM me, and then there's like 1,000 posts. But I did that. I challenged everybody that, and I do got like 3 other screenplays later on, which I got to work on. Now I'm behind. Now I got to.
Now you got to step your game.
But she was like in 2
But
weeks.
now life
she learned-
hits you. Congratulations on your new daughter.
Thank you. I tried my best.
How's the father treating you?
4-month-old, 3-year-old. That's a dynamic, and losing sleep, and it's hard. It's very hard, in a great way, right? But
Yeah.
it's a responsibility. But it's
2 girls,
Yeah.
boy.
yeah,
And boy, oh boy.
yeah. I had to buy more gun.
Oh my God, it's good.
But
That's the best advice I could give you. I was gonna give you that
one
advice.
for every room.
Not okay.
But no, it just it just shakes you up a little bit. But it's been. I can admit it's rough. It's a rough. If you care, if you're there, if you're present, even with 2. I have my wife. It's 2 of us,
Yeah.
and we have my mom and her. So I shout out to anybody that raised anybody as a single mother. My mom raised me as a single mother. I don't know how anybody.
And you
does
got a tribe now, right? You got your mom.
Yeah,
with you,
yeah.
you got
That's a
your
great thing
boy.
about having daughters. Everybody in my family is mostly women. I'm the man of the house, right? Yeah, and everybody else. But she has, my daughter's got like 14 role models.
That's always a
Like,
great thing.
Yeah. I went from here to
So
Jamaica.
how's it? So you like being a girl dad?
Yeah, I love it. I always wanted daughters. I think it's the knowing that my family is mostly made up of strong women, and my father wasn't there. I know some of my cousins have present fathers and all that, but for the long run, I think daughters, like, not only do you get a lot of love,
Yeah. Take care of you.
but if it doesn't, work out, and let's say I have to disappear for some reason, or I have to, if I pass, I don't want to say it like that. They have so many great women that will be able to raise them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's great. That's great.
My grandmother she couldn't be a replacement for a father because there's no replacement for a father, right? And for a child.
And like, yeah.
But she was 102. So from her time, she was tough as nails. So I didn't like that because she was there to do, like, my mom would be like, be nice. And my grandmother would be like, hit him in the head. Like, just, it's just that element of that, it was there. There was some balance. But we don't all have 102-year-old grandmothers from Colombia, right?
Nope.
So it's a lot, but yeah. So that's, Girl Dad is awesome for so many reasons, but also looking like to the future. They're under great care if I ever came to the point that I can't be here.
God forbid. I don't know.
Yeah,
what I'm
I'm right.
But yeah, so your healing has been through your art, and your art has been videography, filmmaking,
Yeah.
and things of that sort. And how long have you been doing that?
15 years now.
15 years.
15.
And so, bro, we get old, bro.
That's the thing. Like, how long you been doing it turns into like, how old am I now?
Yeah, I just felt it.
Yeah.
I felt it.
But it was, very early on before it was, before lights were, not that expensive. It was a different time. But
everything.
I've been in the fabric of the local scene. I obviously, I moved around. I got clients in most states, and I shot all over. But overall, like, I live here. I pay taxes here, high-ass taxes. But this is the fabric of my art. Like, I'm from here. I never not lived in Bridgeport.
Yeah. So that was part of your movie that you shot everything pretty much in Bridgeport, right?
Everything was Connecticut based, except the insurance company that I have. They were the most friendly for we needed $2 million liability. So that they gave me the best number. They're based in New York, but outside of that, all actors from Connecticut, and about 70% shot in Bridgeport.
Nice.
And so we could definitely do it if you want to. Like you can.
That's motivation to anybody who needs it. You know what I'm saying?
I did a class in Stanford for adults for screenplay development, and I kind of gave away like what I did, which is not a secret. It's all out there. Well, I'm reachable. If it take too long, don't be mad at me at the bar.
Dr. Esco, you know what I'm saying? Hook y'all up, Director Esco. So, thank you for sharing your experience.
Thank you.
It's been great. Appreciate you stopping by the podcast. We ain't gonna talk forever, but that was a great experience and a great note that you gave them.
Awesome.
You said some dope stuff in there. So I appreciate you sharing your experience and how making that movie helped you heal in your time of need. You know what I'm saying? And throughout your time. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for creating a platform to have these conversations again. Like it was nothing no one asked me before, and it kind of it did. It was a foundation. I'm still growing, healing, getting older, dealing with it in different ways. You don't ever get over it, but it just gets a little better, right? But that was a big,
take the
big foundation, like I said, of, all right, I'm able to, she's immortalized in this film. Maybe it doesn't make it anywhere crazy, but when I reach wherever I'm supposed to go, it's in my catalog of things I did. I might look at this movie cringe when I have a $1 million budget and say, "Oh man, that $10,000 ain't go that long," huh? But it'll still be something that was part of
something that you did
immortalized. So yeah, man, it is. It's healing, and I'm happy to have the opportunity to have that. Some people don't have that.
Yeah, you raised $10,000 to do that, so not a lot of people can say that.
Yeah.
So. Thank y'all for tuning into Art of Healing podcast. And please remember, together we're stronger. So make sure together we stay together, all right? So don't be mad. And hopefully you stop back through the Art of Healing podcast. And shout out to Esco. Give us your Instagram.
Director Escobar @gmail.com. Also my email. That's the best way to reach me, actually. I look at my email every day.
I'm gonna be mad, you know what I'm saying? So just holler at me. The Art of Healing is the platform for the podcast. And just don't be mad about it. We see y'all later.